You're welcome. Good morning, everybody. It's Financial Fun Friday, and welcome. You are welcome to another episode. I said you're welcome, right? You are welcome. Yes, you are. And welcome to Financial Fun Friday. I am your co-host, Darlene Jenkins, and my other co-host,
Dr. Rita B. Rowland.
yes, Dr. Rita B. Rowland. And of course, your Financial Fun Friday team is being brought to you by ABS Retirement Solutions, where we're always bringing you what's new and what's next in the financial services industry. So, for those of you that are just joining us for the first time, first of all, let me say welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is a webinar, a financial webinar that we do at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the first and third Friday each and every month. And guess what? We're also broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. Hello, Facebook. Hello. Now, during this broadcast, what we do is we pull back the curtains to give you an in-depth understanding of not only your federal benefits, but we're also giving you some best retirement options, providing you with financial tools, strategies, and those nuggets to do what? Help you reach your financial destination. Now, during this time, this is when we do our microphone checkup. 1, 2, check in, check in. So we know you all join us from all over the internet, the country, the world. So if you could just drop in the chat and let us know where you're watching us from. If you are on Facebook, put it in the chat there and say, hey, I'm checking in from Las Vegas. I'm checking in from Texas. I'm checking in from New Zealand. But wherever you are, same thing, YouTube. If you're watching this at a later time, please go ahead and drop your comments and let us know where you tuned in from. Now, Rita and I, your Financial Fun Friday hosts, we like to have fun. And if you'd like to join us here on the broadcast, where when you talk, guess what we do? We talk right back to you. So you can always register. You can scan the QR code there, or you can go to bit.ly/Financial Fun Friday. Of course, if you're on Facebook, please like and follow us at Your AB Solutions. As a matter of fact, right now at Facebook, if you're watching us, go ahead and share us out to your friends. Don't keep us to yourself. And we are on YouTube, where you can go back and watch past episodes at ABS Retirement Solutions. And you know where else we are, Rita? We are on Instagram. Please, right now, go over to Instagram and follow our page at Instagram. We are ABS Retirement Solutions over there. So, Rita, do we have any check-ins before we move on?
Yes, we do. We have Fredericksburg, Virginia. We have Delaware. We have Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Hello, I got a chance to meet a Financial Fun Friday um, guest. She showed up last week to support the family at the funeral. So, hello, B. It was such a pleasure to meet you face to face. So, thank you
Oh,
so
wow.
very much. That was so exciting just to meet
Yeah.
her in person. And so we have no, we have somebody from New York, darling, and we have Texas. Got Upper Marlboro. We got Largo.
Because we here too, you all.
Right.
We here too. We checking in too, and we appreciate you all really, really, really. So spread the word. Don't keep this good news to yourself. If Macy's was having a sale, when you call all your people and say, hey, you need to get over there because such and such is on sale. Well, this is a fire sale over here of financial information. So we appreciate you all for checking in. So again, for those of you that are new to the series, our whole purpose is to help you understand your benefits, your money, your spending habits. And that's one of the things we're going to be getting into today a little later. But then more importantly, we're here to offer support and solutions that will enable you to reach your financial destination. So before we jump into the webinar today, I just want to let you know that the information we're going over is going to be presented in a generic approach. And the reason we do that is because it's a lot of you all on here and we don't know everyone's particular situation. So without knowing that, we can't individualize what we're presenting. But what we can do is if any of the information that we share, you say, you know what, Rita, you know what, Darlene, I was just thinking I needed to do that. Oh my gracious, you walking down my street. You can give your Financial Fun Friday team a call at 301-577-6340. And any of the information that we share, you know what? We will be able to customize it to you and help you and your family. It would be our pleasure to do so. So, with that in mind, please accept the information as general in context and apply it where you feel it fits your particular situation until you call us at 301-577-6340 so that we can customize it for you and your family. So, thank you so much for understanding. So, this month, Rita, is Men's Mental Health Month. So, guess what we're going to be talking about? Mental health and money. And mental health, Rita, that our mental health often does revolve around what? Our emotions, how we are processing the information, how we're thinking about the information, how the things we take in influence us both currently and from the past, right? So let's talk about emotion.
But Darlene, before we even go there, go back to that slide you just had, because I think there's a real, I think people, hello everyone, hello for those that have just joined us, hello and welcome. I think we oftentimes don't really understand the real connection between our health and our wealth.
Very
Because
true.
if you don't have enough money, period, then you can't even afford the care that you need, right? And
Yeah.
then if you are very unhealthy, and then the money won't even matter because you can't even enjoy it. And so I think we need to real understand that we're looking for a balance, right? We want to be pretty healthy and have money, but to
Yes.
really understand that there's a real connection between it. But then the mental health is another part of our health, of even how we see it, how we think about it, and how we feel. And so today you can go forward. We're talking about emotions. And emotions is the thing, y'all, that really messes up. And so what we want to do was to really give you a definition. And this is from the etymology dictionary. So it's going to the root of things. And so it's a social moving, staring agitation. Like you're agitated. Have you guys ever been emotional? Did you been agitated? We all have in one way
Yes.
or another. And some of us probably just about an hour ago, I had some thumbs going up.
Yes.
Before you got on this call, but it's like a move out, remove. It's these feelings like push away, strong feelings. And if you look in the dictionary, these are things that cause us to just sometimes, Dolly, it takes us out of our character if we're not careful, if we're not being very mindful and being present into how we feel and how to manage those feelings. It's easy to be taken totally out. But when we think about our money, these emotions affect how we think about money and how we relate to money. So I think it's very good that they're talking about it. And this is men and mental health, but how about mental health is an issue for all of us? For
Yes.
women, they talked about how children are having so many issues with mental health. Our young people, they'd even had an opportunity to start earning any money and they already have an imbalances. And I'm gonna tell you something. I was in a car accident. Darling, what was that car? It was Mother's Day. Somebody hit me from behind, and my head, I was merging on to the highway, and I was looking, waiting for the cars to come, and the guy hit me so hard, my head hit the window. And in that moment, I had a big knot on my head. I did not have a concussion, but they put me on a concussion protocol. And they told me you need to be on brain rest. Okay. So let me just tell y'all something. What the doctor said, don't have your phone on silent mode. Don't even have it on airplane mode. He said, turn the phone all the way off because in all those modes, the brain waves, this technology is still having an impact on your brain. And so I felt like for the first time, I told my pastor, the apostle of my house, and some of the people that know me, that I think that was the first week that I really had a moment to be present because I could only be on the phones for 5 minutes out of an hour. And by the time I called the office and check it or something, my 5 minutes was gone. I could barely breathe. Like I was reading. They said, 10 minutes. It was a moment of being quiet and just resting. And in those moments, I could really be present. So I think another thing, Darlene, that most of us are just so busy we're not even in tune to how we even feel or any of those things. So we're going to get back. I just wanted you guys to know, really, I think for that time, y'all, to think for the first time I can remember my whole life that I really was totally present because I did not have a choice. I think it's
Yeah,
important for us to take those moments and be intentional about being present and about being in in tune with your mental health, because I was in tune to how I felt, what was going on. Oh, I need to rest some more because my body was telling me. But sometimes when you move and you can't even hear what your body's saying.
exactly. You can, and Rita, also, I just want to add that our emotions also
Hmm.
determine how we deal with with our money. Like,
Absolutely.
when we're up, are we spending? When we're down, are we spending?
Yep.
So
Let's talk
emotion,
about it.
all of these things are very, very important. And as the slide says, it can impact more than your feelings.
Yeah, I think when you think about these emotions, like it talks about, you could read a quote. It says, "We can't foresee or control downturns or upswings. We can only control our mindset, our emotions, and our financial choices." Why? Because what I always say, things in life are going to happen with or without us. How we feel, it doesn't matter whether it's you, Democrat, Republic, whether this economy is happening or a pandemic. Those things in life are going to always happen. What really matters is how we see it, how we react to it. Remember, I took a class and it's never changed my life. The guy said, life doesn't happen to you, life doesn't happen for you, life happens from you. I was like a
Yep.
light bulb went off. Like, it ain't what's happening to me or what's happening for me. It's what's coming from Reader. And so when you think about these emotions, think about being guilty or angry and emotion, it can shipwreck your finance. Because just think about it. There's some clients that have anxiety and panic just on opening up their statement, Darlene. Some of
Yes.
them are so afraid. So think about it. They got anxiety and panic just opening up the statement because they don't know what it is. They don't know what is going on. I have some clients that haven't even logged on to their TSP in over a year until they sit down and talk to us and we ask for a balance. They don't know where it is. They don't know where their funds are. And just think about, we got anxiety and panic attacks. Then there's fear. Now we know from the word, the Lord said he's not a God of fear, but those fear and those emotions can lead to what? More anxiety. And people have a fear of just spending money. I have a client about 2 weeks ago. I said, you 70 years old this year. You haven't touched your money. You're afraid that you're not going to have any money. So you're not spending any money. At like what point do you decide to live? Like the whole purpose is to save, to get to a place that you get to enjoy it. But fear creeps in, Darlene, to many people, and they're very afraid to actually spend the money, or they even have guilt attached to it. So they got anxiety, they got panic over, what do I do? Am I going to have enough? Am I going to outlive it? Those are real questions, but those are the questions why we really do help our clients, because we connect what their real goals and dreams are, come up with the right strategy, find the tool to get it so that we can help you do away with what? The worry, the fear, the stress. Because at the end of the day, your goal is to make sure you outlive your money. But what we don't want you to do is to live your whole life, not enjoy the money, and then you leave a boatload of money to somebody else who don't care and gonna have it spent up in what, 2.5 seconds, and you spent all that time conserving it, not enjoying it. Why? Because of fear. So we want to think, when you
Right.
think about money, think about any other thing, Darlene. I'm gonna let you add something in. People have a lot of shame because we just did a woman's workshop. And the question I asked her, she was like, for real, I just have shame about where I am. So people are ashamed of their financial situation. They're ashamed of what. Let's take shame off the table, because that's another emotional feeling that keeps us trapped in so many places that even outside of money. Shame keeps us in a box that doesn't allow us to be free. And it actually goes along with fear, that it paralyzes us to do nothing. So when we think about it, and now this is just finances. Y'all know this whole life coaching me and this whole mind body connection. Those same feelings not only impact our money, but they impact what? High blood pressure, diabetes, heart issues. They're related. So when we talk
Yes.
about this real health and wealth connection, it's like you got to bring a balance to this all. And the easiest way, darling, to do this is to really have some conversations to help put you in a position that you could take away. Most time people don't, that they're not doing anything to put themselves in a position to know what it looks like, to know what Rita would tell me what it's going to look like when I'm 80, when I'm 90, and 100. Getting the questions answered, getting your income planning, getting these reports will really help you, and knowing exactly where you stand will take away these emotions. But many of these emotions are wrapped around people who have not done anything, but too afraid. Because one girl told me, Darlene, I'm going to come to you when I get myself together. And I remember my life coach told me a long time ago, Rita, the mind that got you in your mess can't be the same mind to get you out. So they're trying to get themselves together with the same system and habits that got them in the problem. Therein lies a problem by itself.
Absolutely. And Rita, just to piggyback off of that, last week when we were talking about estate planning, I said the very same thing. We will wait, and when it comes to our money, we will wait to say, oh, well, I'm going to get it together. But at the same time, if all of the lights went out in your house and you realize, okay, it's not the fuse box, it's something electrical, would you then say, let me go over here to the breaker? Let me start rooting around in these sockets and outlets so I can fix the problem before the electrician gets here. No. If a pipe bursts in your house right now, you are not going to be under that sink or in the wall trying to figure out, okay, what type of piping do I need? Is this a CV? Do I need a joint? Do I need the round part? Did I need the extended part? You're going to be on the phone so fast with Roto-Rooter, Michaels, whoever you like.
Somebody.
Trying to get who? The expert over there. But when it comes to our money, we are afraid to call the expert. And Rita, I just want to say, what is fear? What is the acronym for fear? We know it, but we don't believe it for ourselves. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Appearing real. It is not. And when we start talking about, when you were saying, you know, we have anxiety, we have fear, we have to look at, well, where is this fear coming from? Oftentimes, it's rooted back in our past. We are acting today based on things that happened when we were growing up. Money insecurities, how we even deal with things like food. You know, do you make your children clean everything off of their plate? Do you pile up a lot of food when you fix your plate? And I'm talking about food because I'm dealing with my own self right now. Okay, so bear with me. But we used to, because when my grandmother and great aunt were coming up, they didn't have a lot of food. They had very lean portions. So when we came along, they wanted to make sure we were what? Fed, right, Rita?
Absolutely.
Put that food on their plate. But then because they didn't have a lot and they done gave us too much, and I happily accepted it because I like to eat. But oftentimes it was too much. And then what would they say? Oh, you're not getting up before you finish that plate. We're not wasting food. Well, why you give all this to me? Because growing up, they didn't have food to waste. So they instilled that in us not to be wasteful, but at the same time, they given us too much. Those are all of those feelings and emotions that are coming from the past, influencing our decisions right now. And when it, you know, it says 95% of our purchases are made subconsciously and it's driven by our emotions. Rita used to always say, how many pair of black shoes you gonna buy? Now I'm talking to myself again. Don't think I'm talking about you. I'm talking to myself. As I put up all my shoes, I'm like, no more black sandals or pumps. I literally, for real, I have 3 of each and all of them hurt my feet. So I was not making wise choices.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. Just think about it. 95% of them are based on emotions and only 5% are based on logic. And that's what's when we're in a good headspace and feeling comfortable about the decision. So one of the things we do is this whole testing for clients that I want to buy a new car or a new house. Well, let's say the new car is $600 a month. So let's not base it on emotion because you want that Genesis, I'm like, Darlene, I'm talking about myself, but how about you put Genesis car note aside for 6 months? And if you can put it aside and don't have to go back to get the money that you saved for the car, because now you needed to help pay for your mortgage or your rent, then that means you can't afford that car. So it's not based on emotion, it's based on what? Having some real good logic, and as the young folks say, having some records. So some receipts to prove that this is what you can afford. And you want to make sure you don't want to be worrying about money because it leads to things like sleep problem. How about not having good relationships is based on your social life because you can't afford to go out. Now you're stressed out because you're in the house, and that creates another whole loneliness emotion. So they could be layered over top of each other simply because we don't have a plan for it. So I think it's critical. And this last statement says overconfidence can be a killer. In fact, research shows that more experience you have as an investor, the more overconfident you tend to be, which means that sometimes when we think we know everything, we're not open to hear nothing. Okay, I'm in therapy for that, right? So that's so that's us being able to take these emotional places where we are and come up with logic. Think about having a plan. Just think about the doctor. Like we feel something, we go on the internet and we become MD doctors. And then we got worried about we about to die. Everything looked like cancer. Why? Because we became experts from the internet. And we go to the doctor and say, you got gas. So you didn't worry, stressed out, and you know the whole thing where y'all know I'm going back to my emotions, like 6 minutes of an emotional place is equivalent to 21 hours of a suppressed immune system. So for 3 days, you worrying about you got some sickness because you went on the internet. That's equivalent to almost 3 years of a suppressed immune system for something that wasn't real, only because we never took the time to get the facts.
And Rita,
So we
speaking
really understand that these emotions are real and how they show up in our lives financially and health-wise can be detrimental if we don't have them in check.
No, if you all could just bear with us for just one more minute. It's two things I want to piggyback on, Rita. When you were making the health and wealth connection, when you were saying, not having enough money and things happening and you're in the house, you can't go. And oftentimes, I don't know about you all on here, but if this is you, what will happen, Rita? Because this was me. They call it emotionally eating. So when you have little money or your money is lean, but you're feeling down, depressed, oh, I don't have this, I can't go do that. What do we turn to that's readily available? Food. And we will hide our emotions through food. And we eat and we eat. And now we are what? Gaining weight, which is going to lead to what? Diabetes, heart problems, which is going to lead to what? More financial distress. So we have to be really, really careful about that. And really, like you said, going to Google. I would ask you all to, number one, stop going to the internet to get your financial advice. Our newsletter this month, because our clients get all of the best insights, and you can head over to our website and subscribe to our newsletter. That's what we're talking about this month in our newsletter are the financial shadows in the internet. Everybody that's on the internet giving you all of this advice, number one, they probably not even licensed in the field. And number two, are you getting the whole story? They don't know you. They don't know your situation. They don't know what your outlook is, what your goals are. But we'll see something. Oh, that sounds good, right, Rita? Oh, that sounds good. I'm going to do that. And then we go out. One of the hot trending topics right now, Rita, is the what? The IULs online.
Yeah, own bank on yourself.
Right. Call it. So you go out there. This is just one thing. You go out there like, oh, yeah, I want to do that. But what they're not telling you is that you have to overfund this. You're not doing $100 a month. How's your health? Give us a call. These are the type of things why you want to come to a professional. Now, I feel good that the people I know My clients that have seen stuff online, Rita, they will come and do what they'll ask us, well, what about this? Have you seen this? And one of my clients, she's always sending me these TikToks because different people call it different things. She was like, oh, well, what about this? Why you didn't tell me about this? I'm like, you already had this. We went over this. They're calling this something else. So I just thought that was very interesting. You know, that was a great point. Not only interesting, but it was a great point about us running to the internet, getting our advice from the internet instead of going to the doctor, going to the financial professional to get what you need.
And let me just, and I was going to say, just let us be very clear. We're not saying that those things are not good deals. Those plans are good, but not, I remember my apostle, she was telling me, Rita, every good business is not a good business for you. So it could be great. I had a client to come by, her and her husband had a line of credit. So the money that they wanted to put into this, they're in their 66 and 67. So he's thinking about working. He's thinking only about working for a year. After he stopped working, their Social Security and money is not enough to even cover their bills. So they're trying to take borrowed money from a line of credit to put into IUL, being your own bank, infinite banking, but they don't have enough money for it to really fund them the way it needed to. And then once they do it, they got to still pay back this loan that they can't afford without him still working and he wants to retire. So you see how you can find a good thing, but it's not a good thing for a 67-year-old and somebody almost 70 who don't want to work, who may not have enough money. So that's why you have to make sure that it works for you. And now you got yourself off. Now you got another emotion feeling like you can't afford it or you're not able to. Now you create another emotion for yourself, but it's for a plan that's not even the best plan for you. So we just want you to understand how these emotions can truly affect you, not only your feelings, but affect your finances and your health.
Absolutely. That is so true, Rita. Absolutely. Okay. I guess we're supposed to keep talking about these feelings.
I love it.
Yes. And it says this quote, I love this quote from Warren Buffett. It says, the greatest enemies of the equity investor, that's someone who is investing in the stock market, are expenses and emotions. The greatest enemies of a person, an equity investor, anybody who's saving for retirement, and your money is tied up in the market in any kind of way, whether you're just saving in the market or not, the greatest enemies are expenses and emotions. Thank you, Mr. Warren Buffett.
Yeah, we gotta go, but this one is such my emotions and this my whole heartbeat. But he talked about, he has this quote. I'm gonna put air quotes because I don't know if I have it exact right. But he said that we are trying to, Darlene, what is the quote Warren Buffett said about you trying to spend what you know.
Don't sacrifice what you have to get what you don't
need, you don't even need. So basically so it's like the case, we had a client in the 08, during the 08 market, she had like 900 and she was like 30 something thousand away from $1 million. So she was just so busy trying to get to $1 million. During the downturn, she was so greedy for the $1 million, had all her funds at risk. She came to a workshop. She came for her first appointment. She was going on vacation. She said, Rita, I'm going to contact you. I'm going to contact you. I'm going to contact you. When I heard from her, it was like almost a year later when the market had dropped and she lost 30%. So she now down to 700 some thousand, almost 6. But she was trying to get 30 and end up losing 200 because of greed for something she didn't even need. Just letting it sit for a few months would have got to $1 million, even at a 2% interest rate. So make sure your emotions are not tied to things that doesn't allow you to think properly.
Yes. And so we want you all, thank you all for staying in here with us. As Mr. Alan Lakin always says, planning, which is what we're trying to help you all do. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that we can do something about it when? Right now. So please contact us today so that we can help you map out a strategy to help put all of the pieces together so that you can reach your financial destination. You can get your Financial Fun Friday team on 301-577-6340. Well, it has been great. Please join us again next week. We're going to pick this conversation back up, Rita. And guess what? We want to open it up to you all as well. If you
Yes.
have a story, because this is important. It's real out here in these streets, right, Rita? So
And it's
next
okay to
week,
share.
yes, come back if you feel open to share. You know, you can call our office, 301-577-6340. You can ask for myself, Darlene Jenkins, or you can ask for Dr. Rita Bailey Rowland, and just let us know. You can shoot us a text, an email. Our email is right there, and say, yeah, you know, I would like to share, and then let us know what you would like to share, or, you know, and we'll bring you on. You'll come on and we'll elevate you on the platform so that you can speak. We would love it. We're here for you. So come back, join us on June the 21st, and we are going to, you know, do it again then. But before we go, let me stop recording. Thank you all so much for that, for what we're doing.